So just a quick overview of assets and kind of their migration from conception to publication. Real quick overview. So typically assets are prepared by XD. They'll be handed off to web authors. You've got the assets are then put into the DAM. There they can be stored. We want to definitely make sure they're named correctly, that they have the properties added to them. They can also be tagged. We want to make sure they're stored in the correct location too. And then they can be activated at that point. One quick call out is that if you've got a web page that has assets in it that are not activated when you go to publish it, CQ or AEM is going to call that out as an error and you'll need to get those activated. Anyway, so step 2, they're put into the DAM and they're prepared basically to be placed into a web page. Activated assets should be placed into web pages, and then those pages with assets are pushed live. So really the goal of assets is just to get them into a web page. So it's pretty straightforward. There's just a few things you have to consider along the line. So here are some best practices. One of the things that may not be called out here, but that we do talk about in later modules is optimizing your assets just to help with the page load. So that's definitely a best practice. We also have this link here that should be in your guide as well for Digital Asset Manager best practices. But here are just a couple of them, and it just makes sense to call these out. To store and manage your assets within your team's folders. So that will happen quite a bit where somebody will link to an asset that's not in the folder. You don't control what happens to that asset. So if a change is made to it or if it's deleted, you will be the downstream recipient of whatever those changes may be. So best practice is to, if you see an asset that you like, copy it into your own team's folder and store those locally. Prepare the assets for publication. Again, we're going to get into that in a little bit, but that is making them findable for the most part, making sure they're optimized so that they're not too big or on the other side, too small. So those are just some important things to be considering as you're dealing with the DAM and images and assets. And then quickly we'll go through and talk about the asset types. So for the most part, number one use case is going to be the image asset. So we've got quite a bit of content regarding images and how you prepare those coming up. We do use videos. For the most part, those videos are stored out on YouTube, and you simply link to those. Audio and rich media are not used as much, and those really don't get covered in this course. So that's really just a quick overview of the DAM, just giving a background on images and as they're used in the DAM.